The Thomson 240, a popular streaming device here in the UK, a UK equivalent to the Onn Box in the US. We have the 240, we have the 270. I'm going to be reviewing these in separate videos. Today is all about the 240. A great Android TV box that comes with Google TV OS. It comes with 2 gig of RAM. You've got 8 gig of internal storage and support for 4K Ultra HD, Dolby Atmos and all that jazz. So I'm going to show you exactly what is in this box. We're going to set it up, we're going to go through the software on it, and stay tuned because I'm going to give you my honest thoughts on the Thomson range, more specifically the 240. And this is more of the daddy to this one, so if you want to see what's on this one, make sure you're subscribed. Right, so on the box, we've got all the services there that it supports, Spotify, DAZN. It's got the Google Assistant, and on the back we've got a bit of info about what the 240 is all about. So as we open the box, first of all, the 240 is sat on the top, and you also get the power, you get the remote, and you do get a HDMI cable, which I'm using at the minute, so I've took that out already. First of all, right, let's take a look at the 240. So this is the 240. This is the UK equivalent to the Onn Box in the States. Black matte finish on the box, feels nice and soft, and then you've got a gloss around the side. So on the right-hand side, we've got a USB 2.0, well, 2 ports. Then on the back, you've got the power port, a LAN port. I put the speed of that on the screen. You've got a HDMI slot, and you also have an optical port for your audio out as well. On the bottom, we've got some rubber anti-slip mats. And one thing I've noticed is there's no real ventilation. Not that it's going to affect that because there's no issues with this overheating at all. But it's something worth noting. You do also have a reset button on the bottom there as well. The remote actually feels quite nice. It does come with batteries, which is useful. It feels quite a premium remote, nice and soft. I can imagine you'd make quite a few mistakes on that because it is actually very, very soft. I quite like that remote, to be fair, and the branding's on point. Branding out both the remote and the box itself. It's an Amlogic S905Y4, which is a quad-core Neo Cortex A53 CPU, and that is a great mid-range CPU. A bit geeky, yes, but it handles things extremely well. When it comes to decoding the likes of the 4K and Dolby, it works absolutely brilliantly on the 240. You've got 2 gig of internal RAM, which is more than enough for the 240 because you're not multitasking and you're not going to be gaming. And there is a big misconception about RAM. If you think it's important, check out the video I posted recently after this one. RAM really isn't that important, depending on what you're doing, of course. Now, the 240 has 8 gig of storage. Yes, it's not massive. Do you need it? Depends on what you guys are doing on the device. A lot of the time, most people are streaming, so you don't really need much internal storage. However, a lot of people do like to download, so it could be a slight downside to the 240, but the great thing is you do have 2 USB 2.0 ports, so you can boost that external storage if you like. Now, it supports HDR10, Dolby Atmos, Dolby Digital Plus, and you can stream up to 4K Ultra HD up to 60 frames per second. It comes with Google TV, which is Android 12 out of the box, Bluetooth 5.0, dual band Wi-Fi as we said, and I do like the fact it's got an optical port as well. The remote is a very nice remote. It's a Google TV remote which has direct access to the likes of YouTube, Netflix, Prime Video and Disney Plus. It'd be nice to be able to customize them, but you've got direct access to the Google Assistant, nice rubber buttons, fits nice in the hand, and it doesn't feel cheap. Sounds weird, but the remotes make a big difference to Android boxes, especially when the budget Android boxes come with the budget remotes. This has a nice premium feel to it. Now, running Google TV means you can sideload apps because you can use Downloader. Whether that changes in the future, I don't know, but at the time of recording this video, you can do everything that you normally can on any Android TV box, and it is certified, which means you get official Netflix. Straight away, the setup for this was very simple. Following straight through on the screen, you can also set this up on your phone. Now, I have an iPhone, not an Android, but I got the Google Home and the Google app installed on my iPhone, so it was absolutely flawless when it comes to setting this up. And of course, if you've got any other Google Home products or smart home products, you can control that straight from the Assistant button, which is a great little feature. Now, Google TV is very much like Android TV, right? They separated it, was it a year or 2 ago? But essentially, it looks the same. It's very centric around what you want to watch, so it's great for things like continue watching if you're watching series on Prime or Netflix Netflix or Disney, you should start to see a bit of a tailored approach on the Google TV home launcher. It's very simple to use. You can customize the home screen to have apps or services that you like. It's got access to the Google Play Store, so you can download everything that's available for Google TV or Android TV from the App Store. And it's got Chromecast built in. Now the 4K Ultra HD is quite standard with the 240, but the Dolby Atmos is a great premium feature for the price point. Now these are around £60. They do vary on Amazon. If you do want to grab this, I will link it up in the video description to the best offer right now. Now whilst this is great having the likes of 4K Ultra HD, Dolby Atmos, one of the downsides is it doesn't support Dolby Vision. Now this isn't a deal breaker because a lot of people won't really know what it is or are not bothered about it anyway. So for again, we need to consider this is quite a budget price, not a budget device, but a budget price. Around 60 quid is a great price point for everything that's included on here. So if you're not that ultra fussed on the likes of Dolby Vision, this is a great selection. If you are more concerned about the likes of Dolby Vision or having a bit more download space, then the 270 is going to be the best option. I'll also link this up in the video description so you can have a look at the spec. But you do get a lot more with this, and this review is coming, so stick around for that. Now, as I mentioned earlier, one of the benefits of this, right, is the fact that you've got 2 USB ports, and that's good for connectivity. Wireless ear mouses, external storage, whatever it is you want, you've got 2 slots you can use. And unlike devices like the Amazon Firestick, who don't have the additional connectivity support, you also get the LAN support. Now, like I mentioned earlier, it is around 100 meg, I believe. I couldn't find any clarity on it, but a lot of posts I have seen have suggested it's around 100 meg. Now, is that going to affect 4K streaming? I don't think it will. It depends on the bandwidth and everything that's relating to the file you're trying to stream. But if you don't want that cap on the Ethernet port, my suggestion is to run a Wi-Fi connection, which offers dual band like we mentioned earlier. The 240 also comes with CEC control, which is great, so you can use your remote control to control your TV and vice versa. The developer options on here is nothing like the Amazon Fire Stick. You get so many options under the developer options menu on Google TV, which ultimately already gives it an advantage to the likes of the Amazon Fire Stick. You can customize everything from the transition speed to the window animations, which will ultimately make this a lot more snappier and faster. The Google TV OS is great for storage optimization. You can really delve into the settings of the Google TV and kind of get lost in them because there's a lot of features and settings you can play with to make the Thomson 240 faster, snappier, and work around how you want it to perform, including customizing the likes of the video outputs and adding things like soundbars and making sure the Dolby is being passed through it. And something I've just thought of as well, that LAN port, that Ethernet slot, if you are concerned around the speed of it, you could also add an Ethernet adapter through one of the USB slots, taking you up to that gigabit speed. And if your surround sound, your soundbar is an older type of soundbar which doesn't support the HDMI, that SB diff slot is going to be useful for you. I'm not going to go real deep into the operating system, the Google TV. It's very much like Android TV. You know what it looks and feels like. For those of you that are used to the Amazon Fire Stick, making a switch over to Google TV or Android TV devices is a bit different at first. I'm not going to dispute that because I agree. I've been a long-term user of the Amazon Fire Stick, and for those of you that get used to that launcher, it is a bit of a switch at first. But in terms of customizations, features, and the toolbox is built into Google TV or Android TV, once you get used to it, it really is a great bit of OS. And for me, it's growing on me a lot. Now, what do I think of the Thomson 240? Right, for the price point, first of all, it's amazing, right? It really is amazing for the connectivity you get, the USB slots, the SB diff output, and the LAN port. Whether or not it's up to the speed that you'd like it, it's there, which is great. Again, for the price point, it's amazing. Is storage an issue for me? For me personally, no, because all the apps I use are streaming apps. I don't download anything, so the 8 gig of storage isn't going to impact impact anything I do whilst using the 240. Because of the placement of my TV, I wouldn't be able to get an Ethernet slot here anyway. So the downsides of the 240 for me personally are not going to affect my usage or the day-to-day running of using the 240 as my daily driver streaming box. Is it a powerhouse? No, it's not. But for the features you get for the price point it really is a great bit of kit. There's no disputing that. If you don't want to break the bank and you're looking for a reliable, snappy, customizable streaming TV box with support for great codecs and additional outputs, then this really is a great box to buy. If you're more concerned about the spec and you want that additional power or additional storage, the 270 is the way to go. And I must be honest, right, this has grown on me a lot. Comparing to the Nvidia Shield, for the price point this is, I'm going to throw myself out on the limb and say this could be the best Android TV box I've used and tested so far in terms of value for money. And that review, my thoughts, that's coming up in a separate video, so make sure you subscribe. But either way, if you are more concerned around the spec and the storage, then upgrade it to the 270. Again, I'll link both of them in the video description. But I do think Thomson have absolutely nailed both price points, targeting two separate complete target audiences, and I must say I'm a big fan of Thomson. I can't find any flaws about this. Yes, there may be things that are not to the level people might want it at, but the performance is incredible. Either way, from different price points, Thomson have you covered depending on what you want from your streaming box, including the spec of it. So I want to say a big thank you to Thomson for sending these to me. Stay tuned for that one. There's going to be loads of reviews coming up here. Hopefully this video has helped answer any questions you may have around the Thomson 240. If there's anything you want to know, let us know in the comment section. Check out some of the other videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one.